Very good morning to all of you. Welcome back after a long weekend. So now let's get back to our studies. Now, in the last session, we started with process costing, wherein we discussed the concepts of process costing in detail. I hope you guys are thorough with what I have discussed till now, wherein, as far as what I have discussed is that this process costing is a method of costing used by those companies wherein the raw material has to pass through two or more than two processes before being converted into final product. Further, in this process costing, we discussed the format, how to prepare process account. Thereafter, we discussed what will be the treatment of normal loss, abnormal loss, and abnormal gain. So I hope you guys are thorough with what I have discussed till now. So now let's start with a full-fledged question. I request you to please download the material what I have provided. Very good morning, everyone. Just a second, guys. So I'll be discussing example number 4 of the material what I have provided. Similar question is there in the study material. When talking about the illustration number, I'm discussing, one second. I'm discussing illustration number 3 of the study material. And from my notes, it is example number 4. So let's start with a full-fledged question. I'm discussing example number 4 of my material. So RST Limited process product Z through two distinct process first and process second. On completion, it is transferred to finished stock. From the following information for the year 2021, prepare process first account, process second account, and finished stock account. The details are given in the table. Further, 6,000 units of finished goods were sold at a profit of 15% on cost. Assume that there was no opening and closing stock of work in progress. So let's start with example number 4. Very good morning, Prachi. So, to material or input, that is 7,500 units. And the cost per unit of the material is 60. So 7,500 into 60. This will be 4,50,000. Further wages 135,750. Direct expenses are 60% of wages. Further, manufacturing overhead are 20% of direct wages. Now, here in the normal loss is 5% of the input. So 7,500 into 5%, that is by normal loss. It is 5% of the inputs. So this is 375 units. And these units can be sold in the market at the rate 12 rupees 50 paisa. So this is 4687. Further, my output transfer to next process is given in the question itself. That is 7,050. So balance will be either my abnormal gain or abnormal loss. So 7,500 minus 5%. My expected output is 7,125. However, I got only 7,050 units. So 75 units is my abnormal loss. Now we have to calculate the value of abnormal loss in units that are transferred to the next process. So we'll first calculate the cost per unit. So 4,50,000 plus 135, 750 plus 81, 450 plus 27, 150. So 6,94,350 minus 4687 divided by my expected output, that is 7,500 minus 375. So my cost per unit will be 96 point 96.79 96.7948. Let me check. I'll be discussing illustration number 3. 1 second, Sri Lakshmi. Bala Vinodini sir, how come 75 units as abnormal loss? See, my input is of 7,500 units. So my normal loss is 375 units. So 7,500 minus 375, that is 7,125. My input is of 7,500 units. I'm expecting a loss of 375 units. That is my normal loss. So my expected output is how much? 7,125. However, my actual output is 7,050 only. That is less than my expected output. So 75 is my abnormal loss. Further, for your reference, I am discussing illustration number 3 only. Don't worry, Vinodini. Sorry, Sri Lakshmi. Let me complete the question first. So if you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please ask me. So this is how I prepared process first account. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please ask me. Yes, it is necessary to write all the calculation in the working note itself. Dhyanesh, Vinodini, hopefully your doubt is resolved. Thank you so much, Prachi. Thank you so much, Shivani. Sir, Vinodini, sir, how manufacturing overheads are on the debit side? As I told you, all the expenses are to be recorded in the debit side of the process account. Good morning, Priyanka. So now let's proceed further with the next process account. Now the output of the process first is to be transferred to the next process. So to process first, output of process first is transferred to process second. So this will be the input of the process second, that is 7050 units and 682403. Further, there is no further material introduced in process second. However, the wages are 129,250. It is given in the question that 65% of the direct wages is the direct expenses. So 129,250 into 65%, that is 84012. Further, 15% of the direct wages is manufacturing overhead. So 19387 is my manufacturing expenses. Given in the question that normal loss is 10% of the input. So my input are 7050. So my normal loss will be 705. Normal loss, it is given in the question that it is 10% of the input. So 705 will be my normal loss, and the scrap value realized per unit is 37.5. So into 37.5, this will be 26437. Further, the output is also given in the question only, and it is to be transferred to finished stock account as there is no process third. The output is 6525. Now 7050 is my input, 10% is my normal loss. So I was expecting an output of 6345. However, my output is 6525, that is 180 units more. So this 180 units is my abnormal gain. Now we have to calculate the value of finished stock and abnormal gain. So the cost incurred till date is 682,403 plus 129,250 plus 84012 minus the scrap value realized, that is 26,437, whole divided by my expected output, that is 7050 minus 705. So we can easily calculate the cost per unit. One 140.0496. So this will be 913 824. So this is how process second account is to be prepared. Let me check if there are any queries. Very good, Dhyanesh. Very good, Jyoti. Very good, Prachi. Miss Bala Vinodini, hopefully your queries are resolved. So this is how process second account is to be prepared. Now I'll prepare the third account, that is finished stock account. The output of process second is to be transferred to finished stock account. So to process second, that is 6525 units, and the value is 913824. Further, it is given in the question. Further, it is given in the question that 6,000 units of finished stock are sold at a profit of 15% on cost. So 6,000 units will be transferred to cost of sales, and balance will be in our stock only, that is buy balance CD 525. So 6,000 into 140.0496. This is 6,000 into 140. So this is how finished stock is account is prepared. Whatever the units that are sold will be transferred to the cost of sales, and the balancing will the balance units will be the closing balance of finished stock account. Now let's say if we want to prepare income statement, The balance of this cost of sales will be transferred to the debit side of income statement. So to cost of sales, that is 840298, by sales. It is given that the units are sold at a profit of 15% of cost. So 840298 into 115 divided by 100. Further, the balance of abnormal gain and abnormal loss is to be transferred to income statement or costing P&L. So for your reference, I am discussing abnormal gain and abnormal loss account also. So wherein we'll first prepare abnormal loss account for process first. The abnormal loss for the process first is 75 units. So to process first, 75 units, and the value is 7260. Just like normal loss, we will assume that these units are also sold in the market. So by bank, on sale of 75 units, we will realize 12 rupees 50 paisa. So 75 into 12 rupees 50 paisa, the value will be 937. And the balance will be transferred to costing P&L. $7,260 minus 937. So 6323. So 2 abnormal loss. 6323. Next, we'll prepare normal loss and abnormal gain account. Of process second. And abnormal gain account. The normal loss is 705 units. So 2. And the value is 26,437. 26,437. Now herein there is an abnormal gain of 180 units. It means what? Only the remaining units are sold in the market. So by abnormal gain 180 units. So only the balance units are sold in the market. That is by bank. That is 705 minus 180. That is only 525 units are sold in the market. I repeat again, what is abnormal gain? Saving in normal loss. Even though the normal loss is of 705 unit as estimated. However, when talking about the actual units that are sold in the market, it will be only 525. So these units are sold in the market at the rate 37 rupees 50 paisa. So that is 19687. So this will be transferred to abnormal gain 6750. So when talking about abnormal gain, by process second, 180 units and 25209. This will be transferred to normal loss account. Sorry, this will be transferred from normal loss account to normal loss, that is 180 and 6750. And the balance will be transferred to costing P&L, that is so this will be 18459. So on the credit side of costing P&L, by abnormal gain, so balance will be my profit. Now, whatever the queries you have, you guys, please post all your queries. I'll be addressing all your queries one by one. This is what the summary of what we have discussed in last session of 2.5 hours. So this is a full-fledged question of what all we have discussed in last class. Now, whatever the queries you have, you guys can please post your queries. Further, you guys can please copy this solution if you want. Okay, Bala Vinodini, sir, what is the difference between sales and cost of sales? Now, when talking about the cost of sales, it talks about the units that are the cost of the units that are sold in the market. And when talking about sales, it includes the cost plus the profit element. I repeat again, cost of sales is only the cost of units that are sold in the market. But when talking about sales, it includes cost plus profit. So sales includes profit element. Prachi Kapoor, sir, please explain the cost per unit of process second. So Prachi, when talking about the cost per unit of process second, it is the total cost, that is 682,403 plus 129,250 plus 84012 plus 19387. The total is 915052. 1 second, Prachi. So this is the total 915052 is the total of all these items minus the normal loss, that is 26,437 whole divided by 7050 minus 705, that is my expected output. So this is how I got 140.0496. Saipa Virali sir, even if the units are sold at profit, still we should record it at cost value only. So Virali, this process account is talks about only the cost part. Again, process second also cost part. Finished stock also it talks about the only the cost part. Yes, but whatever the units will be sold are sold, that will be transferred to cost of sales, and income statement contains the profit element. So process account, process second account, finished stock account, they talks only about the cost part. They are prepared at cost, but income statement includes the profit element. As you can see that the sales includes the cost plus profit part. Very good, Abdul. Very good, Hare Krishna Tiwari. Shivani, sir, in normal loss account, why we did not take process one account normal loss amount? So see, when talking about the normal loss account of process first, it will be, if we prepare normal loss account of process first, it will be normal. In normal loss account, we will write two process first, 375,4687, and by bank again 375,4687. No rocket science. It's very simple. Debit side में process account आ जाएगा और credit side में buy bank आ जाएगा. कुछ भी adjustments नहीं होंगे in process first normal loss account. But yes, when there is an abnormal gain, then it is necessary to prepare normal loss account, because the balancing figure is to be transferred to abnormal gain account. Kavita Chandak, let me check if there any space is left out. I'll prepare normal loss account also, don't worry, of process first. So Shivani and Kavita, don't worry. Let me complete all the queries, then I'll prepare normal loss account of process first also. Okay, now, just sir, why is sales taken as 115%? Just see, the question has clearly stated that 6,000 units of finished goods were sold at a profit of 15% of the cost. So profit is 15% of cost. So let's assume cost is 100. So profit will be 15. My sales value will be 150. So it is profit on cost. %. That's why I have taken the sales amount as 115%, because cost we have already calculated. This is my cost, 840298, and it is clearly mentioned in the question that is profit is 15% of the cost. So this is cost. If we add 15%, we will get the sales amount. Shri Lakshmi sir, abnormal gain of 180 units shown in normal account is multiplied by 37.5. Yes, abnormal gain is what? Saving in the normal loss. So we will assume that only 525 units are actually sold in the market. So this figure 6750 is what? 180 into 37.5. And this is 525 into 37.5. Kanchan Kumari, this is example number 4 of my material. I'm discussing illustration number 3 of the study material. Sraboni Das, have some patience. Let me cover this part first, then I'll be discussing how to value work in progress. Yes, Aslam. Kanchan Kumari, it is page number 10 point. It is this similar question is there in page number 10.13 of the study material. So Sri Lakshmi, hopefully your queries are resolved. You wrote a big note that sir so and so and so on. So hopefully Sri Lakshmi, your query is resolved. Vinodini, hopefully all your queries are resolved. Still, if you guys have any doubts, you guys can please post your query. Yes, income statement, or we can say it is costing P&L account. I request you guys to please copy the presentation, specifically these 3 accounts. The solution is not there in the study material. I mean, in study material, they have skipped this part, that is abnormal loss, normal loss, and abnormal gain account. I request you guys to please copy these 3 accounts. And apart from this, those who want to copy the entire explanation can please. Further, if anyone having any queries, you guys can please post your queries. This is all what we discussed in the last session, that is relating to abnormal gain, abnormal loss, and normal loss. So waiting for your queries, guys. And in the meanwhile, I request you guys to please copy. Virali, hopefully your queries are resolved. Not required, Mr. Aslam. You need to prepare Abnormal loss, abnormal gain account only if it is asked in question. Herein, I am discussing everything for your reference just to make sure that you guys are thorough with the concept. Good morning, Pranav. Very good. So when talking about normal loss account of process first, it's very simple. To process first account, whatever the normal loss is, the normal loss was 375 unit multiplied by 12.5, that is 3688. This was my normal loss, sorry, 4688. So by bank, 375 and 4688. That's it. This is how a normal loss account of process first is prepared. So now we are done with the basics of process account. Now let's proceed further with the next part of the chapter, wherein what if in case, if every process is treated as a separate center, separate profit center. So in that case, the what every process do, the output of every process is transferred to the next process at cost plus profit. So what if in case, if the output of a particular process is transferred to the next process at cost plus profit, how to deal with it? I'll be discussing one question. Again, the similar question is there in the study material. I repeat again, guys, what if in case output of a particular process is transferred to the next process at cost plus profit? How to deal with these questions? So I'll be discussing one question, that is example number 7 of the material what I have provided. Similar question is there in the study material. So let's start with example number 7 of the material what I have provided. That is, A Limited produces product AHC, which passes through 2 processes before it is completed and transferred to the finished stock. The following data relates to March 2020, wherein opening stock is given, direct material is given, direct wages are given, factory overheads are given, closing stock is given. Further, inter-process profit included in opening stock is given. Now, output of process first is to be transferred to process second at the rate of 25% profit on transfer price. Okay, so output of process first is transferred to process second at a profit of 25% profit on transfer price, wherein output of process second is transferred to finished stock at 20% profit on transfer price. So in both the cases, it is 20% profit on selling price or transfer price. Stock in process is valued at prime cost. So they are talking about closing stock of every process is to be valued at prime cost, and finished stock is valued at a price at which it is received from process second. Okay, so sales during the period are 1,40,000, prepare process cost account and finished goods account, showing the profit element at each stage. So let's start with example number 7. Okay, there is a query, sir, but sir, in normal loss of process account, you also showed abnormal gain in normal loss account, but in process 2, you showed it separately. Why? See, when talking about abnormal gain, it is what? A saving in normal loss. So that's why I have considered abnormal gain in the normal loss account. But when talking about process first, there is no abnormal gain. So we will assume that whatever the normal loss is, that is sold in the market and the amount is realized. That's it, Vedant. So let's start with example number 7. Now, when there is a profit element in a process account, the format will be like the first column will be of cost, second column will be profit, and the third column will be total. Similarly, on the credit side also, cost, profit, and so this is how a process account is prepared. So let's start, guys. Opening stock is given, that is 7,500. The cost is 7,500. No profit involved, so the total is also 7,500. Material is 15,000. Wages are 11,200. It is given in the question that the closing stock of a particular process is valued at prime cost. So we'll put the total here itself. That is 7,500 plus 15,000 plus 11,200. So this will be 33,700. We'll subtract closing stock. Here only, here in my closing stock is 3,700. Instead of subtracting closing stock from this side, better you can show it on the credit side also. Both the approaches are correct. So my balance amount will be 30,000. My factory overheads are given, that is 10,500. So this will be my total cost. 40,500 dash 40,500. Credit side, the transfer to the next process. So process second account. Now this 40,500 will be same. And the profit will be calculated on this amount. Herein in process first, both the amount will be same. But in process second, you have to make a note of it that the cost amount will appear just like the total of the cost amount will appear on the credit side also in the cost column. But profit will be calculated on this total amount. So 40,500 is my total value. Now herein it is given that the output is transferred to the next process at 25% profit on transfer price. 25% profit on transfer price. So transfer price is given, that is 100. I repeat again, it is given that 25% profit on transfer price. So transfer price is 100. So my profit is how much? 25% of 100. So that is 25. So my cost will be how much? 75. And in this question, 40,500 is my cost. That is equals to 75. So how much will be 100? 54,000. So 54,000 minus 40,500, 13,500 will be my profit. And we'll balance the account also. Herein we'll write the profit also. That is 13,500, 13,500. So 40,500, 13,500 and 54,000. So this is how the process account is to be prepared. Process first account. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can please post your queries. I'm not getting what you're saying, Abdul. So if you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your queries. What it means stock in process is valued at prime cost. So Shivani, it means that the closing stock is valued at prime cost. And the things will be more clear when I'll be discussing process second account. So don't worry, Shivani. When talking about stock in process is valued at prime cost, it means they are talking about the closing stock of the process. Yes, Dhyanesh, transfer price is equals to cost of process plus profit. So herein 25% on transfer profit on transfer price is given. So let's assume that the transfer price is 100. My profit is 25. So my cost will be 75. Herein I have got the total cost, that is 40,500. It is equals to 75. And how much we have to calculate the transfer price? That is equals to 100. So this is how I got 54,000. So waiting for your queries, guys. In the meanwhile, those who want to copy the explanation can please copy. I'll be discussing process second account also thereafter. Yes, Aslam. Yes, Virali, you can write it on the credit side of the process account also, the value of closing stock. Both the approaches are correct. Any doubts, Priyanka, Dhyanesh, Shivani, Jyoti, Sunil Kumar, Shri Lakshmi? Any doubts, guys? Raboni, any doubts? Kavita, Abdul, Prachi, Kanchan, any doubts? Waiting for your queries, guys. Prachi Kapoor, this approach is followed when every process is treated as a separate profit center. Very good, Aslam. So now, guys, let's proceed further with the next part, that is process second. Good morning, Smile. See, Vedant, when it is given profit on cost, then you have to assume cost as 100. When it is given profit on selling price, you have to assume selling price as 100. जो भी क्वेश्चन में दिया होता है प्रॉफिट ऑन कॉस्ट और प्रॉफिट ऑन सेलिंग प्राइस, उसी को हमें 100 अज्यूम करना है. इट्स अ सिंपल मैथमेटिक्स, वेदांत. No, it will not increase, Kavita. The answer will be the same. The profit will be the same, Kavita. Herein opening stock is given. I am discussing process second account now. We'll first write opening stock of the process. Opening stock of process is 9,000. And inter-process profit included in opening stock is 1,500. So 9,000 minus 1,500, this will be 7,500. Now we'll write whatever we have received from process first. Now material is 15,750. So 2 material. Two wages. That is 11,250. So this will be my total. As we have to calculate the prime cost of 7,500 plus 4,500 plus 15,750 plus 11,250. So this is 75,000 plus 15,000, and this will be 90. Now we have to subtract closing stock. Now herein the closing stock is given in the question, that is 4,500. Now guys, it is given in the question that closing stock is valued at prime cost. Closing stock is valued at prime cost. So how much will be the profit? This is my prime cost. And we have got the closing stock as 4,500. So 15,000 profit hota hai 90,000. 15,000 is the total profit on 90,000. Out of this 4,500 is my closing stock. So how much will be my profit? Very simple. So 15,000 profit on 90,000. So how much will be the profit on 4,500? This is 750. As closing stock is valued at prime. So this will be my profit 750 and my total cost will be 3750. So this will be 85,500. This will be 14,250. This will be 71. Now, if we add manufacturing overheads, that is given in the question, that is 4,500. We'll get the total cost. This will be 90,000. $14,250 and 7,550. The output of the process second is to be transferred to finished goods account. Finished stock account. Herein this cost figure will be same, 7,550. The profit will be calculated on this amount because this is the total value of process second, and it is given that the output of process second is to be transferred to finished stock at 20% profit on transfer price. So 20% profit on transfer price. So herein transfer price is given in the question, so we will assume 100. My profit is how much? 20. So my cost will be how much? 80. So this 90,000 will be equal to, this 90,000 is my cost of this process divided by my total cost, that is 80 into 100. So 90,000 divided by 80%, that is 1,12,500. So I'll get my total profit till date, that is 36,750. And my profit of this process will be 36,750 minus 14,250, that is 22,500 and 22,500. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your queries. Waiting for your queries, guys. Dhyanesh, when talking about the purpose, since the question is saying so, we have to solve it in this way. But this approach is used when every process is treated as a separate profit center. Sir, why we are writing profit of transfer stock from process first to process second? Cost process 2 department has no idea about how much is the profit figure and the cost figure. See, why we are considering profit? Because we have to calculate the profit as a whole of the company. That's why we are showing the profit of the units that are transferred from process first. So I request you guys to please copy this part, and those who have any queries can please post your query, giving you 2 minutes time. Any doubts? Shri Lakshmi, Vinodini, Dhyanesh, Vedant. Abdul, any doubts? Vinodini, any doubts? Shri Lakshmi, any doubts? I'll be discussing this part, Pranav. So, sir, how come profit 36,750? See, this is how I got 1,12,500. That is 90,000 divided by 80 into 100. So, this is my sales value. 90,000 divided by 80 into 100. This is my sales value. My overall profit is 36,750. That is of process first plus process second. This is my overall profit. Of this, when talking about process second profit, process second profit, then this is the profit of process second. Sir, how come process second opening stock profit is 1,500? See, Sunil, just check the question. It is given in the question itself. Inter-process profit included in opening stock, that is 1,500. Inter-process profit already included a opening stock में 1,500 rupees का. It means this 9,000 includes this profit of 1,500. I'm not getting, Aslam, what you are saying. So guys, let's proceed further with the next part, that is finished stock account. Now opening stock is given in the question. That is 22,500. And the profit included in opening stock is 8,250. So that will my total cost will be 22,500 minus 8,250. That is 14,250. Now output of process second, that is transferred to finished stock, that is 75750, 36,750 and 1,12,500. Now, here in the closing stock is given, that is 11,250. So we'll calculate the total first. That is opening stock 14,250 plus 75750. So this is 90,000. 8250 plus 36,750. This is 45,000. So this is 1,35,000. We will subtract the closing stock. The total value of closing stock is 11,250. Now, very important, guys, it is given in the question that finished stock is valued at a price that is which is received from process second. Finished stock का valuation prime cost पे नहीं करना है. Finished stock is valued at a price that is received from process second. So finished stock will not be valued on these three amounts. It will be valued on this amount. So very simple, guys. Calculation of closing stock. So since it is valued at the as per the value that is received from process second, so 36,750 is the profit on 1,12,500. 36,750 is the profit on 1,12,500. So how much will be profit on 1,1250? Very simple, 3,675. So 3,675. So the balance amount will be 1,1250 minus 3,675. So 7,575 will be the value. Now, sorry guys. Now, on the credit side, we'll write by costing P and L since the value of the sales is given. So the cost amount will be the same, that is 82425. Further, these goods are sold in the market at the rate of rupees 1,40,000. It is given in the question itself that the sales during the period is 1,40,000. So by one total 1,40,000. So my total profit is how much? 1,40,000 minus 82425. So my total profit is 57575. And the balance amount for this finished stock is 16,250. So overall profit earned by the company is 57575. This is the total profit that is earned on sale of rupees 1,40,000. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. Okay, Priyanka sir, calculation of closing stock is not clear. So see, herein it is given that closing stock ka calculation prime cost pe nahi hoga. It is valued as per the figures that is received from process second. This will not be used for valuing closing stock. These three figures will not be used for valuing closing stock. It is given in the question that closing stock of finished goods is to be valued as per the figures that is received from process second. So from process second, we have got a profit of 36,750. That is on 1,12,500. So how much will be the profit on 11,250? 3675. Hopefully your doubts are resolved. Kanchan, Kavita, Priyanka, Pranav, finished stock account is prepared. So if you have any queries in finished stock account, you guys can please post your query. Given in question that finished stock is valued. Finished stock is valued at price received from process second. Can you please be clear what you are asking, Vedant? I'm not getting. Vedant, can you please repost your query? M. Prarthana Sarthi, sir, cost of closing stock in finished goods can find for profit as well as cost. I'm not getting what you are asking, my dear. Further, Vedant, please do post your query again. I'm not getting what you're asking. How did you get 1,40,000 total? This is given in the question. These units are sold in the market for rupees 1,40,000. Okay, Vedant. So there is a query from Vedant. If it is given in the question that closing stock is valued at prime cost, then what will be the treatment? So see, if closing stock is valued at prime cost, very simple, guys. 45,000 is the total profit that is included in the prime cost, and the total is 1,35,000. So how much will be the profit for 11250? I repeat again, 45,000 is the profit on 1,35,000. So how much will be the profit on 11250? 45,000 divided by 1,35,000 into 11250. So this will be 3750. So instead of these three figures, we'll be writing 11,250, 3750, and 7,500. Very good, Aslam. Thank you so much. Very good, Abdul. Yes, your answer is correct. This is the balancing figure, my dear. That is 57575. The total profit as calculated, 1,40,000 minus 82425. This is how I got 57575, and 57575 minus 41325. So 16,250, that is my balancing figure. Yes, Dhyanesh, this is my overall profit. Dhyanesh, hopefully your queries are resolved. Better write costing P&L only. Yes, Dhyanesh, well said. Practice is required. So guys, done with this part. Now the last part of the chapter, that is valuation of work in progress, will be starting. So let's take a break of 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll start with the next part of the chapter, the last part, and the most important part of the chapter, that is valuation of work in progress. So let's take a break of 15 minutes, then we'll get back with the next part of the chapter, that is valuation of work in progress. Welcome back, guys. So now let's proceed further with the next part of the chapter, that is work in progress. Now, in every attempt or in every alternate attempt, you will find a question on work in progress. So let's start with work in progress. Let me check if there are any queries. Yes, Vedant, I'll be covering FIFO method, weighted average method in detail in the next session. There is one more session of process costing. So please don't worry, Vedant. I'll be discussing each and every point in detail. As far as unit and batch costing, it is a part of your syllabus. However, it is more or less related to cost sheet. So I have, and due to time constraint, I have skipped this part. If you try to read it on your own, you'll be able to solve it, Vedant. Don't worry. Gayatri Sahu, thank you so much, my dear. So now let's start, guys, with work in progress. So now, till now, what we have discussed is कि हम लोग input करते हैं process में, we do record all the necessary expenditures, and whatever the output we are getting, it is transferred to the next process. So the output of a particular process which is 100% finished in respect of this process is transferred to the next process. This is what we have discussed till now. कि जो भी इनपुट करते थे उससे आउटपुट आता था और वो आउटपुट 100% कंप्लीट होता था, and that was transferred to the next process. Now my point is, what if in case if certain units remain unfinished by the end of the year? I repeat again, what if in case if certain units remain unfinished by the end of the year? Let's say I made an input of 10,000 units. As predicted well in advance, my normal loss is 10% of input. So let's say 1,000 is my normal loss. When talking about the output, units transferred, units completed or finished and transferred to next process is, let's say, 7,000 units. So out of these 10,000 units as input, 1,000 was normal loss, 7,000 units were transferred to the next process. Still, we are left out with these remaining 2,000 units. Let's say 2,000 units that we have left out is what? Units completed 60% only. So these units are still in process और उनके ऊपर 60% काम complete हुआ है. That is what we call as work in progress or units in process. So when talking about work in progress, what is work in progress? Units introduced into a process, but for production, but remain unfinished by year. What is work in progress? Units introduced into production process remain unfinished by year end is work in progress. What is work in progress? कि यूनिट्स हमने प्रोसेस में इंट्रोड्यूस तो कर दिए, but year end तक कुछ units जो है वो complete नहीं हो पाए. So here and out of these 10,000 units, 7,000 units were 100% processed and transferred to the next process. But 2,000 units are still in process and they are not 100% completed so that they can be transferred to the next process. They are only 60% complete. So that is what we call as work in progress or units in process. Now, guys, when talking about in quantitative terms, that is that how much units are in process, how much units have transferred, how much units are, let's say, 50% complete, how much units are 80% complete, we can easily identify. But the major part is how to value these units in process. We can easily identify 2,000 units are still in process, 7,000 units are transferred. But the point is how to value these units that are in process. It's a bit tricky part. So when talking about how to value work in progress, it's a bit on the trickier side. So when talking about the valuation of work in progress, the concept of equivalent production comes into picture. I repeat again, when talking about in quantitative terms, we can easily identify कि कितने units process में, कितने units 50% complete हुए, कितने units 80% complete हुए. But when talking about what will be the value of these units that are still in process, it's a bit tricky task. So herein the concept of equivalent production comes into picture. So if you guys have any doubts, what is work in progress, what is the what is work in progress, but what is how to value the same, I'll be discussing this part separately. So the important part is what is work in progress. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can please post your query. Further, I request you guys to please copy this explanation, that is what is work in progress. Units introduced into a process but remain unfinished by year end is work in progress. When talking about how to value these work in progress, the concept of equivalent production comes into picture. Any doubts, Abdul, Kanchan, Virali, Vedant? Now, let's take a very basic situation. Let's say I have made an input of 10,000 units. My normal loss is, let's say, at the rate of 10% of input, 1,000 units. And let's say my output is 9,000 units. Herein, let's say my cost of process is 1,80,000. So in this situation, we can easily calculate the cost per unit. That is 1,80,000 divided by 9,000. So that is rupees 20 per unit of the units that are 100% complete. So in this case, we can easily calculate the total cost. I'll be discussing this part, Vedant, don't worry. So in this case, we can easily calculate the cost per unit, that is rupees 20 per unit for the units that are 100% complete. So if we want to calculate the cost of units that are 60% complete, if we can calculate the cost of 100% units, then we can easily calculate the cost of 60% completed units. That is 20 into 60%, that is rupees 12. Further, the cost at 100% completion is already calculated. If we want to calculate the cost of units that are 40% complete, again we can easily calculate that 20 is the cost of 100% completed units. So how much will be the cost of 40% completed units? That is rupees 8 per unit. So this is a very simple situation where we can easily calculate the cost of the units that are 100% complete. Now let's take a different situation. Let's take a different scenario wherein I have made an input of 10,000 units. My process cost is less, let's say 1,20,000 rupees. Now I have got the output as 5,000 units that are 100% complete, 5,000 units that are 100% complete, 3,000 units that are 80% complete, and 2,000 units that are 30%. Out of this input of 10,000, we have got so and so output. 5,000 units that are 100% complete are transferred to the next process. However, 3,000 units are still in process and they are completed up to 80%. And 2,000 units that are 30% complete. Now the point is how to calculate the cost per unit. So as I told you guys, when there are units in process, we will use the concept of equivalent production. Now how to calculate the cost per unit? So guys, we will calculate the equivalent number of units. So these 5,000 units are 100% complete. It means 5,000 into 100%, that is 5,000. These 3,000 units are 80% complete. It means the equivalent number of units will be how much? 2,400 units. The equivalent number of units will be how much? 2,400 units. What it says that the cost of 3,000 units, which are 80% complete, will be equal to 2,400 units that will be 100% complete. I repeat again, guys, the cost of 3,000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to 2,400 units. Will be equal to 2,400 units that are 100% complete. So herein we will calculate the equivalent number of units. In the third case, my 2,000 units are there and they are 30% complete. So how much will be the equivalent number of units? 600. So total equivalent number of units will be how much? 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8,000 units. I repeat again, in the second category, 3,000 units are 80% complete. So equivalent number of units will be how much? 2,400 units. It means what? Whatever the cost that is incurred to 3,000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to the cost of 2,400 units that are 100% complete. I'll be discussing this part practically also, guys, so don't worry. So herein we have got the equivalent number of units, that is 8,000. Now we will calculate the cost per unit, that is 1,20,000 divided by 8,000. So this will be rupees 15 per unit. Now, if we want to calculate So this cost per unit is what? 15 per unit is the cost for 100% completed unit. Because these are also 100%, these are also 100%, these are also 100% complete. We have calculated the equivalent number of units, that is 8,000 units that are 100% complete. So the cost per unit 15 rupees is what we are getting is for 100% completed units. Now, if we want to calculate the cost of 80% completed units, the cost will be very simple. 15 is the cost of 100% completed units. So 15 into 80%, that is rupees 12 will be the cost of 80% completed units. If we want to calculate the cost of 30% completed units, 15 into 30%, that is 4.5 will be the cost of 30% completed unit. So if we want to value this finished stock and the units that are transferred to the next process, the first category is 5,000 units. The cost for 100% completed unit is what? 15. So the total cost will be 75,000. If we want to calculate the cost of these 3,000 units that are 80% complete, so these 3,000 units, the cost will be how much? 80% completed per unit cost is 12. So this will be 36,000. Next point, 2,000 units that are 30% complete, the cost for 30% completed units is 4.5. So 2,000 into 4.5, that is 9,000. So this is how this cost of 1,20,000 will be distributed among these. Alternatively, we can calculate the cost as follows also. We can also calculate the cost as, see, 5,000 units that are 100% complete is 15 rupees. So 75,000. Now, when talking about the second category, 3,000 units that are 80% complete. So the cost we have calculated is 36,000. So alternatively, we can say that the cost of 3,000 units that are 80% complete is equals to the cost of 2,400 units that are 100% complete. So we can simply write 2,400. These units are 100% complete. So 2,400 into 15, that will also be 36,000. Similarly, in the third case, 600 units are there that are 100% complete. So 600 into 15, 9,000. So with both the approaches, the answer is the same. It means what? The cost of these 3,000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to the cost of 2,400 units that are 100% complete. Similarly, the cost of 2,000 units that are 30% complete will be equal to 600 units that are 100% complete. So you can use any of the approach to calculate the value of work in progress. So this is what the concept of equivalent production. Let's say if there are 10,000 units and they are 80% complete, it means what? 8,000 units will be my 8,000 will be my equivalent number of units. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. Very good, Abdul. Very good, Dhyanesh. Okay, Prachi, don't worry. I request you guys to please copy this part. Further, if you guys have any conceptual queries, then waiting for your queries, guys. Priyanka, Gayatri, Vedant, Dhyanesh, Aslam, Kanchan, Virali, Pranav, Priyanka, any doubts, guys? This is the concept of equivalent number of units, wherein if the units are not completed by the end of the year, then we will calculate first what? The equivalent number of units. That is 5,000 units that are 100% complete, 3,000 units that are 80% complete, and 2000 units that are 30% complete. So it means what? The equivalent number of units will be 5000, 2400 and 600. So my total equivalent number of units that are 100% complete will be how much? 8000. Thereafter, we will calculate the cost, that is 1,20,000, the cost of the process divided by 8000, that is rupees 15 per unit is the cost of the units that are 100% complete. So 15 रुपए जो कॉस्ट आया है ये 100% completed का आया है, तो 80% completed का कितना आ जाएगा? 15 into 80%, that is rupees 12. अगर कोई यूनिट्स 30% कंप्लीट हुए हैं तो 15 into 30%, that is 4.5 रुपए जो है 30% completed का कॉस्ट आ जाएगा. तो वेरी सिंपल, वी कैन कैलकुलेट द टोटल कॉस्ट, that is 5000 into 15, 75,000. 3000 into the cost of 80% is 12. So 3000 into 12. 2000 into the cost of 30% complete, that is 4.5. This is how we can calculate the cost. Alternatively, again, as I told you, the cost of 3000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to 2400 units that are 100% complete. So we can calculate the cost as कि आप 100% का cost निकाल दीजिए, ये आप 100% का cost निकाल दीजिए, and then directly calculate the total cost, that is 5000 into 15, 2400 into 15 and 600 into 15. So this approach is much more easier, and this approach, I repeat again, this approach is much more easier as compared to this approach, because ये जो exercise करते हैं इसका time जो है हमारा save हो जाएगा while writing exam. So this approach is the best while writing the solutions. So if you guys have any doubts, you guys can please post your query. This will always be given in the question, Prachi. Any doubts, Virali, Shruti, Jyoti? Vedant, any doubts? This is the concept of equivalent number of units. Sraboni Das, any doubts? I have started with valuation of work in progress. I have not discussed FIFO method and weighted average method. Have some patience. I'm discussing each and every part in detail in a systematic way. Don't jump into the advanced stage. Better learn the concept slowly. Right from start, we have discussed what is equivalent production method. Thereafter, how to approach the question. And then in advanced question, we will discuss what will be the treatment if it is FIFO method or weighted average method. So don't worry, have some patience. Now let's start. Let's start with a question that is there in the material what I have provided. That is concept of equivalent production. It is slide number 15. Concept of equivalent production. I request you guys to please download the material what I have provided. I'm discussing the question on slide number 15. So concept of equivalent production, I'll be discussing this concept with the help of a question also, so that while solving the full-fledged question, you guys can understand that how to approach the question or solution. So input is 10,000, material is 49,000, labor is 19,200, overheads are 28,800. Now out of these 10,000 units that are transferred to the next process is 9,000 only. 1,000 units are still in process, wherein the work related to material is completed up to 80% and labor and overhead is completed up to 60%. Agar dono barabar hota, so we would have solved by using this method only what we have discussed. But herein, the work related to material is completed only up to 80% and labor and overhead have been completed up to 60% only. So now, how to approach the question and how to present in the exams, let's start. So we'll first prepare process account. There is an input of 10,000 units and the cost of material is 49,000. It is 19,200, 28,800. The units that are transferred to the next process is process second is 9,000 units. And by closing work in progress is. So now we have to calculate the value of units that are transferred to the next process and the value of closing work in progress. So herein, products, still few units are in process. So we will be using the concept of equivalent production. Now, ultimately, our major motto is what? To distribute this total cost among these two. Our major motto is what? To distribute the total cost. That is, my cost is 49,000, 19,200 and 28,800. That is 97,000. अब ये 97,000 जो है distribute कैसे करना है इन लोगों में? That is the point. So we have to calculate first the equivalent number of units, then cost per unit, and then the value of units that are transferred and value of units that are still in process. I repeat again, these are the steps. First step is what? Equivalent number of units nikal lijiye that are 100% complete. Then the next step is what? Calculate the cost per unit, that what we did in the previous illustration. Ek bar cost per unit aa gaya, then we can calculate the total cost. So let's start. Now, to calculate the equivalent number of units, we'll prepare statement of equivalent production. Herein, the percentage of completion of material, labor, and overhead is different. That's why we have to prepare this statement. In the previous question, it was clearly given that the units are in process and they are 50% complete or 60% complete. But here in the percentage of completion of material, labor, and overhead is different. That's why we have to present it in a statement form. So, statement of equivalent production, the first column is the particulars. The total number of units. Since the percentage of completion of material and labor and overheads is different, so we'll prepare material and labor and overheads in the same column as the percentage of completion of labor and overheads is same. So we will preparing only one column for the same. How much percentage it is complete and equivalent number of units? How much percentage it is complete and equivalent number of units? Now let's start. There are two parts. First is units that are completed. That is units completed and transferred to next process. Total 9,000 units were completed and transferred to next process, and they are 100% complete. It means what? In respect of material also, 9,000 will be the number of units, equivalent number of units. In respect of labor also, it will be 100%, that is 9,000 units. When talking about closing work in progress, the total number of units are 1,000. Now it is given in the question that these units are 80% complete in respect of material. So 800. And 60% in case of labor and overhead. अगर लेबर का 60 होता और ओवरहेड्स का 50 होता तो लेबर और ओवरहेड हम लोग अलग अलग बनाते. But the percentage of completion of labor and overhead is same, so I have considered it in only one column. So the percentage of completion of labor and overhead is how much? 60%. So 1,000 into 60%, that is 600. So the total equivalent number of units is how much? 9,000 plus 800, that is 9,800 in respect of material, and 9,600 in respect of labor and overheads. अगर क्वेश्चन में सीधा सीधा दिया हुआ होता कि अगर क्लोजिंग वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस इज 60% कंप्लीट, तो इतना एक्सरसाइज करने की जरूरत नहीं. सीधा 1,000 into 60%, that is 600, and 9,000 into 100%, that is 9,000. So we would have easily calculated 9,600. But here in this question, the percentage of completion of material is different and labor and overhead is different. That's why we have prepared this statement. Agar percentage of completion, labor, overheads and material ka same hota, so we would have presented in this way. 9,000 units, 100% complete. 1,000 units, 60% complete. Total is 9,600. That is the number of units that are 100% complete. So herein, the percentage of completion in respect of material, labor and overhead is different. So that's why we have prepared this statement. So now we have got the cost. We have calculated the equivalent number of units. That is, the equivalent number of units in case of material is how much? 9,800. And in case of labor and overhead is how much? 9,600. Now we'll calculate the cost per unit. First one is material. How much is the material cost? 49,000. What are the equivalent number of units? 9,800. So how much will be the cost per unit? It will be 49,000 divided by 9,800. That is rupees 5 per unit. In case of labor, how much is the cost? 19,200. How much is the equivalent number of units? 9,600. So the cost will be how much? Rupees 2 per unit. In case of overheads also, the cost is how much? 28,800 units. The equivalent number of units are how much? 9,600. So how much will be the cost per unit? Rupees 3 per unit. So how much will be the total cost? 10 per unit of the units that are 100% complete. If you guys have any doubts till now, you guys can please ask me. Mr. Aslam, I think you are talking about the previous question. Let me complete this question first. Kavita Chandak, this question is there in the material what I have provided. Very good, Abdul. That is 5, 2, and 3. So this is the cost of the units that are 100% complete. Now we can easily calculate the cost of these two items. So the first is units transferred. Calculation of total cost. When talking about units transferred, the total number of units transferred are 9,000 and they are 100% complete. And the cost of 100% completed unit is how much? 10 rupees. So 9,000 into 10, that is 90. So this is the cost of units that are 100% complete, that is 90,000. Now when talking about the value of closing work in progress, there are two ways. Now, how to calculate? Let's calculate the cost per unit first. When talking about material, the cost per unit is how much? Rupees 5 per unit. Now, how much is the percentage of completion of material? 80%. So this is rupees 4. When talking about labor, the cost per unit is how much? Rupees 2. And how much is the percentage completion of labor? 2 into 60%, that is 1.2. When talking about overheads, how much is the total cost per unit of 100% completed unit? Rupees 3. Into the percentage of completion is 60%. So this will be 1.8. So 4 plus 1.2 plus 1.8. This will be. So herein we have got the cost per unit of the units that are still in process, that is rupees 7 into 1000. So 1000 into 7, that is 7,000. Alternatively, we can value work in progress as alternate way to value work in progress, very simple guys. Material. How much are the equivalent number of units of material? 800. So 800. See, the cost of units, these 1000 units that are 80% complete will be equal to 800 units that are 100% complete. So 800 units are the equivalent number of units that are 100% complete. So into 5, so this will be 4,000. Similarly for labor, 1000 units that are 60% complete, the cost of 1000 units that are 60% complete will be equal to 600 units that are 100% complete. So 600 into 2 and overheads will be 600 into 3. So 1200 and 1800. Again, the answer will be the same, that is 7. From examination point of view, I do recommend this approach because this will save time to do this exercise. So ये exercise करने का time बच जाएगा, and this approach is comparatively much more easier than this approach. So guys, if you have any doubts, conceptual doubts in the concept of equivalent production, how to value work in progress, you guys can please post your query. So this is how this cost of 97,000 is divided among 2. Now waiting for your queries, guys. Further, I request you to please copy this part, those who have understood, those who are thorough with the concept. Apart from this, first please post your query, then do the copying part, or then do copy. Please post your queries. Yes, Raboni, any doubts? Priyanka, Prachi, Pranav, Abdul, Dhyanesh, Gayatri. Quick, Virali, Kanchan, Kavita, any doubts, guys? Waiting for your queries, guys. The concept is very simple, guys, wherein we have to first calculate the equivalent number of units that are 100% complete, then calculate the cost per unit, and then charge this cost to the units that are transferred or that are units that are still in process. I'll be taking full question, don't worry. Okay, Prachi Kapoor, sir, please re-explain the question. So herein, this is the question. We have prepared the process account. Now we have, see, अगर question में clearly given होता कि closing work in progress is 80% complete, तो ये statement बनाने का headache ही नहीं होता. We would have solved in the way what we have discussed while discussing the concepts. But here in the percentage of completion of material and labor is different. So we have to prepare the statement, that is statement of equivalent production. Particulars, total, material, labor, and overheads. Now, out of this 10,000 input, 9,000 units were completed and transferred to the next process. So units completed and transferred to the next process is 9,000. They are 100% complete. So the equivalent number of units will be how much? 9,000. For labor and overheads also, the equivalent number of units will be 9,000. But in case of closing work in progress, the equivalent number of units will be how much? 800, because they are 80% complete in respect of material, and in respect of labor and overheads, they are 60% complete. So 1,000 into 60%, that is 600. So from calculating the cost per unit from material point of view, we'll be taking 9,800 units as the equivalent number of units, and for labor and overheads, the equivalent number of units will be taking as 9,600. So now, अब हमारा first step complete हो गया, that is we have calculated the equivalent number of units. Now the next part, cost per unit calculate कर दीजिए. That is 49,000 is the material cost divided by equivalent number of units, that is 9,800. So this will be my material cost per unit. Similarly, for labor, my cost is 19,200. Equivalent number of units कितना है? That are 100% complete. So divided by 9,600. So this will be rupees 2 per unit. Similarly, for overheads, my cost is 28,800 divided by 9,600 units. So my cost will be rupees 3 per unit. So 5 plus 2 plus 3, rupees 10 is the cost of units that are 100% complete. These are 100% complete. So the cost as calculated rupees 10 is the cost of the units that are 100% complete. वो units जो 100% complete हो गए. So now, when calculating the total cost, calculation of total cost, when talking about units transferred, 9,000 are the units that are transferred to the next process and they are 100% complete. And the cost of 100% completed units is how much? 10. So 9,000 into 10, 90,000. Now, when talking about the calculation of value of work in progress, two approaches are there. I do recommend this approach, wherein very simple. Work in progress in respect of material, how much units? 800 units into 5, because these 800 units are 100% complete. So we will take the cost of 100% completed units. So 800 into 5, 4,000. In respect of labor, the units that are 100% complete is how much? 600. So 600 into 2. In respect of overheads also, 600 into 3, 1,800. So this is how we will calculate the cost of work in progress. Alternate approach for your understanding कि भाई पहले per unit cost निकाल लो और उसके बाद multiply कर लो. So per unit cost of material is 5 and they are 80% complete in respect of material. So the cost per unit in respect of material will be 4. In respect of labor, cost per unit for 100% completed is 2. And since in closing work in progress is completed up to 60%, so 1.2, and similarly overheads. So we will get the cost per unit of closing work in progress, that is 7. So 1,000 into 7, 7,000. So if you guys have any doubts, you guys can please ask me. Waiting for your queries, guys. Yes, Vedant, very true. Well said. Since the percentage of completion of material and labor overhead is different, that's why we have prepared this table. हाँ जी कविता, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ इक्विवेलेंट प्रोडक्शन हमेशा ऐसे ही प्रिपेयर करेंगे. Prachi Kapoor, hopefully your queries are resolved. Sri Lakshmi, Bala Vinodini, any doubts, guys? Waiting for your queries, guys. It's already 9:33, giving you 2 more minutes time. Whatever the conceptual queries you have, you guys can please post your queries, because in the next session, we'll start with the full-fledged questions. Further, those who want to copy the solution can please copy. Pranav Vashisht, any doubt, my dear? Eight to 12 marks, Piyush. Very good morning. First of all, it's your first post for today. Nikita Sachdeva, सर क्वेश्चन स्टडी मटेरियल से ही आएगा. अगर सारे क्वेश्चन स्टडी मटेरियल से आते तो हर कोई सीए बन जाता मैडम. सो द पॉइंट इज ट्राई टू लर्न द कंसेप्ट्स. इफ यू आर थॉरो विद द कंसेप्ट्स, चाहे क्वेश्चन कहीं से भी आए, चाहे इंटरनेशनल कोई ऑथर की बुक से भी आए, इफ यू आर थॉरो विद द कंसेप्ट, यू कैन सॉल्व एनी क्वेश्चंस. So learn the concept first rather than solving the questions. Learn the concept first and then start approaching the questions. Okay, I'll take last 2 minutes of yours. A question homework for you. Let's say my inputs are 12,000 units. Units transferred 10,000. Units in process 2,000 units. As far as material is concerned, they are completed up to 100%. As far as labor is concerned, they are completed up to 80%. And overheads, they are completed up to 60%. The cost of material is given. That is 96,000. The cost of labor is, let's say, $81,200, and let's say the cost of overheads is $56,000. So this is the cost you have to calculate. The value of units transferred and value of closing work in progress. So this is the homework for you guys. In the next session, I'll be expecting answers from all of you to test that whether you guys are thorough with the concepts or not. And once this, after discussing this question, we'll start with the full-fledged questions on equivalent number of on calculation of work in progress or value of work in progress. So I request you guys to please copy the question first. I request you guys to please copy this question. I'm expecting answers from every one of you. So guys, thank you so much for your time and patience. It's already 9:38 now. I have to wind up the session for today. So thank you so much for your time and patience. Try to solve the basic questions of process costing before attending the next session. Plus, do revise what I have discussed in this session relating to evaluation of work in progress, how to calculate the equivalent number of units. In the next session, we will finish off this chapter. We'll discuss two full-fledged questions on calculation of work in progress and value of work in progress. So till then, do revise what I have discussed. Thank you so much for your time and patience. Plus, solve this question without fail. I'll be expecting answers from all of you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. See you soon. God bless you.